The private. This is where military service begins for most enlisted soldiers. A private is the lowest rank in the Army, typically held by someone who has just completed basic training and has not yet gained any real experience in the field. The rank carries no authority over others and comes with the most basic responsibilities: follow orders, learn the job, and prove reliability. In most armies, it is understood as a starting point rather than a permanent position, and soldiers are expected to move beyond it within the first year or two of service. The corporal. Just above private, the corporal represents the first step toward leadership for an enlisted soldier. It is often the lowest rank at which a soldier is given some degree of responsibility over others, sometimes leading a small fire team in the field. The rank has a long history. It appears in military structures going back centuries, and in some armies it carries more weight than in others. In the United States Marine Corps, for example, the corporal is considered a non-commissioned officer and is expected to lead from the front. The sergeant. This is one of the most important ranks in any military structure, and experienced officers will often say that sergeants are the backbone of an army. A sergeant is responsible for the direct welfare, training, and performance of the soldiers under their command. They are not distant administrators. They work alongside their troops, make immediate decisions in the field, and translate the orders of officers into action. The relationship between a sergeant and their soldiers is often the most formative professional relationship an enlisted person will have in their entire military career. The staff sergeant. A step above sergeant. The staff sergeant takes on broader responsibilities and typically leads a larger group of soldiers. The rank implies a higher level of experience and technical knowledge, and staff sergeants are often expected to mentor junior sergeants, as well as manage their own team. In combat situations, they frequently operate with a degree of independence, making decisions without direct officer supervision. The title varies slightly across different branches and countries, but the core function, experienced senior enlisted leader, remains consistent everywhere. The Warrant Officer. This rank exists in a unique space between enlisted soldiers and commissioned officers. Warrant officers are specialists, highly trained experts in a particular field, such as aviation, intelligence, or engineering, who hold authority and receive officer-level pay without going through the traditional commissioned officer pipeline. In the United States Army, helicopter pilots are often warrant officers. The rank allows militaries to retain deep technical expertise without pulling skills specialists into general command roles they may not want or be suited for. The second lieutenant. This is the entry point for commissioned officers, typically held by someone fresh out of a military academy or officer training program. A second lieutenant usually commands a platoon of around 30 to 40 soldiers and does so under close supervision from more senior officers. The rank is understood as a learning position. New lieutenants arrive with theoretical knowledge and leadership training but limited real-world experience, and the sergeants serving under them often play a quiet but crucial role in helping them navigate their first months of command. The first lieutenant. After gaining experience as a second lieutenant, a promotion to first lieutenant brings additional responsibility and growing independence. First lieutenants often serve as executive officers within a company, assisting the commanding officer with administration, planning, and logistics. By this point, an officer is expected to have moved past the initial learning curve and to function with confidence in both garrison and field environments. The gap between second and first lieutenant is relatively short in most armies, often just 1 to 2 years. The captain. At the captain level, an officer takes full command of a company, typically between 80 and 200 soldiers depending on the branch and country. This is widely considered the most hands-on command position in the officer ranks because a captain is close enough to the soldiers to know them personally, while also being responsible for the unit's overall performance, training, and mission readiness. Many officers describe their time in command at the captain level as the most demanding and rewarding of their careers. The major. Crossing into the field-grade officer ranks, a major typically moves away from direct troop command and into staff roles, planning, and coordination. Majors serve as key advisors and administrators within battalion-level headquarters, helping colonels manage larger formations. The transition from company grade to field grade officer represents a significant shift. Less direct leadership of soldiers, more responsibility for planning and coordination across a broader organization. Not every officer makes this transition smoothly, and it marks a genuine fork in the nature of military work. The colonel. By the time an officer reaches the rank of colonel, they are commanding a regiment or brigade, thousands of soldiers, and operating at a level where decisions carry significant strategic weight. Colonels are senior enough to interact regularly with general officers and civilian leadership, but still close enough to operations to maintain direct influence over how missions are planned and executed. It is a rank that requires both deep military expertise and strong organizational management skills, and relatively few officers who begin their careers ever reach it. The general. General officer ranks, ranging from 1 star to 4 stars in most Western armies, represent the highest levels of military leadership. A 4-star general may command an entire branch of the armed forces or serve as the senior military advisor to a head of state. At this level, decisions are as much political and strategic as they are military. Generals coordinate with governments, allies, and international organizations, and their choices can shape the direction of conflicts affecting entire regions. The rank is held by very few people at any given time, and the path to it typically spans decades of service. The Admiral. The naval equivalent of a general, an admiral commands at the highest levels of a navy and carries the same weight of strategic responsibility on water that a general holds on land. The rank has its own hierarchy, from rear admiral through vice admiral to full admiral, and in some countries, a fleet admiral, or admiral of the fleet rank, exists above them all, typically reserved for wartime or ceremonial purposes. Naval command at the admiral level involves managing fleets, projecting power across oceans, and coordinating with allied forces across vast distances in ways that have shaped the outcomes of some of history's most consequential conflicts. If you found this helpful, a like and subscribe would mean a lot. See you in the next one.